Hello class, we're ready to start lesson 19. It's an introduction to nested loops, and as usual we have our comments at the top, so you should type in the comment, your name, the program description, lesson 19, introduction to nested loops, and the date. We have two header files here. We have IO stream, so that tells you we're going to use CIN and COUT, and we have string, so we use string variables. All right, here's the opening of function main, here's our curly brace, and here's our loop. For integer b equals to 1, so I am declaring my variable right here. It's going to be an integer b, and then I'm initiating the variable to a 1, so I'm starting it out at 1. Okay, then I check, and you remember in for loops, this is how we start. Initiate our value that we're going to use to control our loop. This is our check to see have we reached, does the stopping point of the loop, does our loop continue or not. And then this is how we add more to our loop. Now I could have b plus 10 or b minus 20, whatever, but here in this case I'm just adding 1, okay, for each time I go through the loop. Now the b loop, this outside loop, happens every time this loop finishes, and this loop says for integer a, so I'm declaring it right there, and then I'm initiating it here, so a is equal to 1. Then I say and do the loop until a is less than or equal to 10, and then add 1 each time, and I'm going to cout an asterisk. So it'll go through, and this will be 1 starting out, and it comes down and it says cout an asterisk. So that's 1, and this will cout an asterisk until it's 10. So I'll get 10 asterisks, right? Then it ends the loop and go back around, and 2. Then I get 10 asterisks. Let's just run it so that you know what you get. Oops. There we go. Ta-da! So you get 10 rows with 10 stars. That's not what I wanted. What I wanted it to do, I wanted it to make this. I wanted it to make this 1 star, then 2, then 3, then 4. I wanted it to count up more and more stars all the way to 10 stars. Well, how do I make it do that? The simple way would make me check this, instead of checking for 10 here, because that's what controls how many stars, remember? This made it have 10 stars, and then it goes up and does another row, 10 stars, and then this controls how many rows, right? It's the outside loop. So if I change this, instead of saying 10 stars every time, right? It's checking for 10 stars every time. If I say check for B instead, so as this increases each time the loop goes around, so it starts out as 1, so it's equal to 1, so it does 1 star. It goes back to the other loop. Now this is 2, and B is less than 10, so yeah, it continues, so it goes down, and it says, yeah, now this is 2, so it couts 1, and then does this loop again, 2 stars. We don't have an inline here, right? So it does 1 star, loop around, the second star. Okay, so it does 1, it starts at 1, and then it does the first loop, then it adds 1 and does the second star. Then it goes back out to the outside loop. Now this is 3, right? We've done 2 already, so now this is 3. B is 3. 3 is less than or equal to 10. So now we go down and we check. A is 1. A is less than or equal to B, so it's 1 right now. So do 1 star, loop around, do the second star, loop around, do the third star, and now it's equal to B, so it goes back outside the loop, and now B is 4, so then we get 4 stars down here. So you can see the pattern, and so if I ran this by changing that one thing from 10 to a B, I can make this image. So let me build it real quick. Build solution. Okay, and then let's run it, and there's our image. Okay, so by controlling this loop, depending on what the number is in this loop, I'm able to control how many stars go across in the row. All right, I hope that was helpful to you. So let's move on and look at another example. But let's say you have a cout AB. So AB would be your title, end line. For integer a equals 1, as long as a is less than or equal to 3, we're going to add 1. Okay, that's our boss loop. So here's our worker loop. It does all the work. It's the inside loop. So for b is equal to 1, b is less than or equal to 3, add 1. So we cout a, which is 1 right now the first time, and the first time through this is a 1. But then this goes again until it gets to 3, right? So then this goes, prints out 1, and now this becomes a 2, so we have 1, 2 in the second row. Then it goes around again, and we have 1, and then this becomes a 3, so we have 1, 3 in the third row. Then it goes back out, because b is less than or equal to 3, because we hit 3, goes back out. Now this becomes a 2. A becomes a 2. We add 1 to a, so now a is a 2. Is a less than or equal to 3? Yep, so we do this next for loop. Integer b is 1, so we have this is a 2, a was a 2, and now b is a 1. Then it circles back around, b is going to be a 2 now, so we'd have 2, 2, and then we circle back around, and now b is a 3, so we have 2, 3, but now we circle around, it's 4. This is not true anymore, so we go back out to the outside loop. And here's what your output would look like. All right, so here's our AB. This is the boss loop, right? This is the outside loop. This is the inside loop. So the ones place is the inside loop. So what happens, you do, the first loop is a 1, and then it goes inside and goes 1, 2, 3, but A is printed each time, so we go the first loop, 1, and then the second loop, the inside loop is 1, 2, 3. Then it goes out to the outside loop and changes as is 1 to the outside loop. And then we do 1, 2, 3. Then we go out and add 1 to the outside loop again, 1, 2, 3. Okay, I hope that's clear. And here's the output, just the same as what I just ran on the screen. All right, so it's kind of like this idea. The inside, you have your box of toys, and then there's a bunch of those, right? Then you get a little further out and you have a closet, and the toys are in the closet. And you could have several closets with toys, but the box of toys is in the closet, and the closet's in the living room, and the living room's in the apartment. It's kind of that idea. They're inside of each other. So the internal one completes before the next one up can be set off. And if there was another loop, then this one would have to complete before the next loop would be set off. Okay? If that makes sense. If not, please email me your questions and I'll be happy to answer them. I'll see you again soon.